Hi there, gang. We are going to be starting our practice PBA. The way we're going to work this is that I will demonstrate for you what's expected of you on the minimum wage one, and then you will do the assignment on the vaccination one on your own. So we're going to start with our first step. So this is what your booklet will look like. This will be your first page of your booklet. It's kind of an introduction. Then you'll have a blank page here. This is where we're going to take some notes on your steps. So step one in this process is to read the prompt and do Rafts, just like we talked about for AZ Merit. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's look at this page here. So make sure you turn to your board. Whatever I do on the computer, I want you to make sure that you are including in your packet. So as you're listening to this video, just like you would if I was teaching in the classroom, I want you to do whatever I'm doing on the computer. I want you to make sure that you're doing it in your packet. Okay, so it says you're going to take a writing assessment. For this assessment, you will write a multi-paragraph argument essay. You are looking for at least 4 paragraphs. So that little sign there means paragraph. Okay, so you need to have at least 4 paragraphs in this essay: an intro, an argument, a rebuttal, and a conclusion. You could have more depending on how you want to break it up, but you have to have at least 4. Okay, this is your student booklet. Except for the final draft, all your work must be done in this booklet. Your final draft must be written using only standard blue or black ink. Go ahead and underline that just so you remember when we get to the actual PBA, your final has to be in blue or black ink. Your teacher will give you a dictionary thesaurus and a book of quotations. So inside the box is our prompt. So let's take a look at our prompt here. Okay. Since 1938, the federal minimum wage was increased 22 times. So remember, the minimum wage is the minimum of what a company has to pay its employees, okay? Most recently, it has increased from $6.55 an hour to $7.25 in 2009. However, as the cost of living increases, it is believed it is time to increase the amount again. You have 3 texts, so go ahead and underline that. You have 3 texts that you're going to read relating to the issue. As you read these texts, consider what they suggest about the issue. Think about the position you will take and what evidence you will use to support your thinking. Write an argumentative essay, that's key too, responding to the following prompt. Should the federal government increase minimum wage? So we're talking about minimum wage. Should they increase it or have it go up? Okay, you need to make sure that you clearly state a position, provide an objective analysis of both claims and counterclaims, so you address both sides of the argument. Support ideas with text-based evidence from at least 2 of the 3 articles. Make sure you underline that as well. I prefer that you use all 3 articles, but if you only use 2 of the 3, that would be okay by district standards. And you need to make sure you have in-text citations. So documenting it like we've been practicing throughout the school year. Okay, so I said read the prompt, which we just did, and our next step is to do Rafts. So if you remember, the R stands for role. Well, unless it gives you a role, you're just going to be a student. So you are a student here because it did not give us a role. Your audience is, unless it tells you, you might say the federal government, or the teacher. Sometimes it'll tell you. In this one, it does not. If it doesn't tell you, just remember you're writing to a teacher, okay? Format is an argument essay. And it needs to be at least 4 paragraphs, like we said before. Okay, your topic is minimum wage. So that's what we're writing about. And we have to take a stance on, so stance, S is stance, if it should be increased or not. So should increase or should not increase. Now, we are not going to make a decision on this until we read the articles, okay? We're not going to decide, because I initially might think I need to increase the minimum wage, but then when I go back and I look at what the articles are saying, I can maybe write a better essay on that it should not be increased. So you need to make that decision after you read the articles, which is going to be step 2. But we just now finished step 1. If you remember, we said step 1, read the prompt in Rafts. Okay, so we read the prompt, we took notes on what's the important things, we kind of underlined things as I was reading the prompt to make sure that I remember to go back and think about the things that I underlined. Okay, and then on the bottom there where there's some blank space, I figured out Rafts. Role was student, audience, federal government or the teacher, format, argument, essay of 4 paragraphs at least, topic, minimum wage, and stance, I'm going to decide if we should increase the minimum wage or should not increase the minimum wage. So it's always important to know what the prompt is asking you, because if you do not write on the right topic, you're at a major disadvantage to begin with. It's also important to know what you're choosing, because as you read the articles, you're going to be looking for support throughout. So you want to really make sure that you know what way you're going, know that you have a choice in what that topic is that you have a choice on, and then you're going to be looking for that information when you are reading the articles. Okay, so our second step, which I will do a separate video for here in a bit, but let's just go ahead and put step 2, is to read or attack the text the articles that are provided. So we are going to do that process here in a minute, where we are going to read and attack those articles, really looking for information that we can use to, number 1, decide our stance, and number 2, have supports within our essay. So that will be our next video. Okay, now I want you to take a moment and look at the vaccination paragraph or essay the vaccination packet that I have handed out to you, and I want you to read that prompt, and underneath that prompt I would like you to do Rafts. So I want you to do step 1 with your vaccination article now. Thanks, guys.